So welcome to the class, and in this we're going to talk about equilibrium. It's all about equilibrium, ADAS, etc. But in this we're going to talk about the full employment equilibrium, the underemployment equilibrium, and of course beyond the full employment, in the sense where inflationary pressures bring about that. So I want you to just have this. OF is where ADAS is equal to AS. Take the B one. The B figure shows full employment in the economy, and based on that, the first figure tells you underemployment, and the place where it meets, where the effective demand is, it's U, and then in the last figure it is B, that is beyond the full employment equilibrium, E. Now, according to the classical economists, equilibrium level of income always takes place at full employment level. Always. But in the Keynesian theory, equilibrium does not necessarily take place at full employment level. An economy may achieve an underemployment equilibrium also. This happens when AD is not sufficient to support full employment AS. So short-run equilibrium can differ from full employment equilibrium. Full employment equilibrium can be achieved when resources of the economy are fully employed. It is a maximum that an economy can achieve in the long run. When AD in the economy is equal to this maximum output, that is full employment output, it is referred to as full employment equilibrium. Okay, now take the B figure and you see that there is full employment of resources, and OF is a full employment equilibrium, output and income. So this is known as full employment equilibrium. Now for example, let's take the A figure, in which we see that if AD is not sufficient to match the full employment output, AD and AS become equal at less than full employment level of output, and this is called underemployment equilibrium. So in this case, of course, the important thing is that in the underemployment equilibrium, the economy can move to full employment equilibrium by raising its AD. So that we're going to study, and that is, say, because of the deficient demand. But let's take the C diagram, and in that you see that what do we see? That here AD is greater than AS. So that is its equilibrium beyond, I put it as B, beyond the full employment equilibrium. So what happens? We have to see that aggregate demand actually has to be pushed down to the equilibrium level. So this is very interesting, talking about these equilibriums. Full employment equilibrium should be brought about. That's the best policy. So we will be doing that in the we will be doing it as inflationary gap, deflationary gap, and consequently we'll talk about measures that have to be taken to bring up the aggregate demand in terms, in case where aggregate demand is less, by policies, by the government policies, or by monetary policies, budgetary or monetary policies, and all of that. So we'll do that in the next class.